Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda. There's just one Octrock. Goodbye. Alright, so we've completed the first two dungeons, but we've got a lot more of the world to explore. We've got a bunch of things we need. So we're kind of just gonna be exploring a lot of the eastern side. I think that's a lot of what we're doing today. Also a bit of the north side. There's important stuff all over the place.
So I was thinking about what we discussed last time, and how just a lot of the difficulty of this game just comes from not knowing where you're supposed to go and wasting time wandering around.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird to think of, like, that used to be a thing that people liked about video games.
Yeah, no. Now you can't really pull that off. People get impatient.
People talk about adventure games being dead, they're not dead, but that's very much all adventure games were, was just being lost until you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, money-making game.
Yes, that's pretty much just, hey, guess what that's under? You either lose money or you get money. And here it's a secret to everybody, so you just get money. So we don't have arrows yet, we need to buy those, but once we do, using the bow does actually cost a rupee every time you use it, so that's a thing you have to consider. Alright, there's more than one, but okay. At the very least, there's only one old woman who will accept this, so... It's a little bit, non-specific, but eventually you'll figure out who this is for. Or maybe you've already met her, and this is the point where you go, oh, okay, that person! Finally, I found the solution to that. Which is right here. Alright, well, typically red's, better, so let's go with the red medicine. This'll heal you. I'll probably want blue medicine at some point, just, you know, to round the inventory out. You can only hold one at a time, but...
Blue is typically better, because it restores health and magic. I know magic isn't a thing in this game.
Mm-hmm. It sort of jumps around, but think more of the later game's rupees, for that at least.
That shopkeeper looked like Luigi to me.
We've also got a candle which can light up dark rooms and can, if I remember correctly, it can only be used once per room. Okay, that doesn't help at all.
You know, the dead end.
Yeah, the thing there's definitely only one of in this game. Alright, so... while we're wandering around this mountain, we didn't really have a, oh, actually no, first this lady. Pay me and I'll talk. Okay, this is frustrating, because here she'll give you a hint for the maximum amount of money that you can pay her. There are more hint ladies in the game, and the reason they're frustrating is because, of course, if you pay them too little, they'll just be like, wow, you're a cheapskate, fuck off. However, sometimes, if you pay the maximum amount of money, they'll just say, wow, you've got a lot of money, and not actually give you the hints. Sometimes you have to give them the middle amount of money.
Yeah. That's so mean. It's so pointless.
Master using it, and you can have this, some kind of master sword, you might say? Anyway, this is the white sword. If you're wondering what that hint means, it means you have to have at least 5 life energy before you can pick that up. Which really isn't that difficult, you can honestly get this before your first dungeon. But yeah, the white sword, way more powerful. However, you cannot stop rocks, as was prophesized in the song.
Sorry, I just kind of caught off guard how there was not only a fairy in this game, but a fairy that looks exactly like how they look in the Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah, honestly, they're kind of just always there. There aren't empty bottles in this game, so you can't catch them. That's just like many other things. If it appears on screen, lucky you, collect it, and you restore a lot of life. But since you can't bottle them in this game, they cannot bring you back from the dead. Also, I guess we don't get both medicines on the screen. I could have sworn we did. Well, that was a waste of my money then.
But yeah, I did play Link to the Past as a kid, so I had the memory of like, oh, in the 2D Zeldas, the fairies are, more human-like. And that's how they, like, quote-unquote actually look like in the 64 games. You just only see them as that ball, that glowing ball.
Yep. Yeah, they flip back and forth for that a lot.
Yeah, I guess the glowing ball goes back further than I realized.
Yep, all the way to the start. But then they don't continue using the glowing ball forever, even when they get past the N64. Because then, sometimes they also look a bit different. They're humanoid,
yeah,
but tiny.
Wind Waker, they just look like little people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wind Waker, they just look really sad when you put them in a bottle.
Yeah.
It was so mean. But yeah, I was gonna ask, Boy, this is really expensive! Yeah, thanks.
You said it, Luigi.
I was gonna ask about prior Zelda experience, since, we didn't start with an overview of our experience with the series, because we just kind of jumped into this.
I've already mentioned Link to the Past. I played the Game Boy Advance version. I played Wind Waker. Recently, I played the Oracle games. I played a normal game for both, and then got part of the way through a linked game of ages before I kind of ran out of steam. I'll get back to it eventually. I just need to have a desire to play Zelda games again.
Okay, that's ominous.
And also, I played Twilight Princess, but I didn't get past the first, half of the game. Like the standard Zelda, find 3 things and then find 6 or 7 things. I found 3 things.
Yeah. God, so many women selling medicine. I don't need it anymore. But yeah, the only other Zelda game I've LP'd for the channel is Minish Cap, but that was also the first Zelda game I played, because a friend had it when I was a kid, so, we'd trade things, we'd borrow things for a bit. So I played Minish Cap, and I've at least played most Zelda games, even if I haven't finished all of them, though admittedly have not gotten to Echoes of Wisdom. I gotta get to playing that at some point.
Yeah, only Switch one I played was Breath of the Wild. I have Tears of the Kingdom and Echoes of Wisdom, I just haven't played them yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I played the, I guess now the first 2 Hyrule Warriors games, because there's a 3rd one now.
Yep. And there's a bunch of editions of the first one.
Yeah, I played the Vanilla Edition and the Definitive Edition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played Vanilla in 3DS. I'm one of the few people who played 3DS.
Wildest thing about Hyrule Warriors to me is that the original game and Age of Calamity have, their individual merits, which is more common with Musou games than you'd think, but it's rare to have 2, back-to-back where I'm like, yeah, I can play either. I guess I'm like that with Samurai Warriors 4 and 5, but that's by design. 5 was meant to be a refresh, a reboot to Samurai Warriors. Anyways, God, fuck this room.
Yeah, this is just a whole lot of dark nuts.
Have we even seen a single dark nut before this? And they're just immediately like, here's 7?
I think there were a couple here and there, but yeah, no, this dungeon's been, give them a lot of screen time, and yeah, even back in the first game, they were kind of a pain, because they, much like the player character, have a shield, which you have to work around. So yeah, they are pretty tough.
If you didn't have a sword beam, what could you even do?
Get close to them and start stabbing, and hope they don't just decide to walk into you, which is the strategy of most enemies in this game. But yeah, you've probably noticed that they do just kind of turn on a dime. Oh god. Yeah, those are bubbles. They curse you, so you can't use your sword for a few seconds. They are a pain. Alright, so real quick, this is level 3. In second quest, the dungeon is shaped like an L. We're gonna see in a few seconds, though, this is the unfortunate dungeon that we were talking about the other day. This one's the Manji, which was, in either direction, a relatively common symbol for a bunch of cultures for many years, until it was co-opted by a bunch of losers who have no idea how society works, and basically want to make everything worse for everybody.
Yeah, the way I've heard it described is that every culture that could weave a basket made that symbol at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So for my job, I get to go to courthouses a lot, and because of my current position, I get to go to a bunch of different courthouses. And weird hobby I picked up is seeing how old my courthouse is by seeing if there are any of that symbol just in various patterns.
Yeah, was this around since that was, usable at all?
Because, like, some courthouses are, well over 100 years old, and some of them get renovated and some don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a really old hotel at a town I used to work in called West Baden, which still has the pattern, like, all over the floor.
Mm-hmm. Also, did you get the sword from the old man on top of the waterfall? Yes, I did. Please stop asking.
You can see it. Look at the sword.
But yeah, the Manji very much went the same way as the name Adolf did in usage.
Also, because of this game, I thought that Manji was, like, the actual name for it. No, it's just the Japanese name for it. And they didn't... It's a convergent idea, but it's not... It's kind of disingenuous to get around using the word swastika by saying Manji. Also, sorry if you were intentionally avoiding saying the word.
I mean, technically speaking, like, yeah, no, like... I think in this case it's mostly derived from the Buddhist usage, which is like Wanshi or something like that, Wanshi in Chinese. But yeah, no, it's technically speaking, it's going in the wrong direction for the standard swastika use. But yeah, no, it's still very much not in use in either direction.
I'll be honest, you may have been able to get away with calling this a cyclone. Probably not, but maybe. It's wild that they just...
Anyway, here's Manhandle.
Go, geez.
Manhandle is dead now.
Manhandle really dislikes smoke.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, Manhandle is a boss where you have to kill each head and it keeps getting faster, but like, if you hit it at just the right point, you can just kill all the heads in pretty much one shot. Also, it's named Manhandla, which has always been amusing to me.
Alright, well, at least we got the problematic dungeon out of the way.
Yeah, it's only level 3, and level 3 also gets us a raft, which, when you go to one of these points, you just get to sail in a straight line to whatever's at the other side, and what's at the other side here is level 4. So we're already to our second dungeon of the day. This is a quick one. So in second quest, this dungeon is shaped like a D. In this iteration, it is referred to as the Snake, so we'll see what that looks like when we actually pick up a map. We got these enemies, they're called Vyres. These don't really appear ever again, really? At least I can't recall anything other than just, like, things that specifically reference this game. Like the Oracle games. But yeah, anyway, so like I was saying, I've played pretty much most of the Zelda games, and I enjoy them, but it has also been kind of, like, confusing to me to a certain extent of, like... It's also extremely, extremely popular. And again, I like them, but, like, when I was in school, this would be uttered in, like, the same breath as, like, I don't know, Call of Duty or Halo or something.
Oh,
like,
you're right,
if people
though.
were going to play a Nintendo game, it would be Zelda.
Yeah, people, like... Especially, like, when the newest Zelda game was Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I don't mean this as an insult. The Call of Duty crowd loved Twilight Princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's why Wind Waker had the reception that it did.
Mm-hmm. This is some sort of baby game for babies.
Yeah, because it was all, like, really insecure people who based their personality around Call of Duty. Like, I got no problem with the games themselves, but, like, the way some people treat it is fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of separated from that kind of crowd, but I'm also not in school anymore, so I can't really say that with certainty, but yeah, when I was a kid, I enjoyed them, but it was really weird that, like, this is the, oh, this video games are badass kind of crowd, you know?
Yeah, I like Modern Warfare 2 a lot. One of the few games I played multiplayer, like, regularly, because I had friends in school. And they were all, like, a year or two older than me, so I felt cool playing with them. Also, this is secondhand knowledge. Wayne just mentioned this on one of his streams. But apparently Call of Duty's, like, moderation is really goddamn good. If you report someone for saying a slur and they actually said a slur, they will get banned in less than an hour.
Damn.
I've seen this in other things, because they have the reputation as, like, oh yeah, that's the game where people play slurs, they really don't like that reputation.
Uh-huh.
So now they're
So we're going to
like,
get rid of that.
extra steps avoid, like, similar thing, if you try to bring a Confederate flag to a NASCAR race, you will get thrown out of the event immediately. They do not tolerate that shit anymore.
Not having that. We don't want your kind. We got the ladder. This allows you to go over one tile of water, which is surprisingly useful, actually. Though also, sometimes it does get in the way. Sometimes you don't actually want to do that, you just sort of get caught by accident.
I forgot to mention, I have played Link's Awakening.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, as for this game in of itself, until this playthrough, I never really played it. Oh god, yeah, this is one of the problems. You kind of sort of get stuck between tiles. I had given it an attempt back when Nintendo had released the 3DS, and it didn't do so hot the first time, so if you bought it early enough, you just got 10 free NES games and 10 GBA games at some point, which was nice, mostly for the GBA games. The NES games, I mean, they were classics, but they weren't really my thing so much, so I did attempt to play Zelda 1, never really got super far into it.
Yeah, there's not too many NES games that I'm the biggest fan of.
Yeah, it's one of those points where I do want to be fair to older games. I don't want to just be one of those people who is just, oh, all older games are terrible forever, but I do have a hard time getting onto NES games, especially RPGs at times. So yeah, the whole 3DS thing did kind of a very good example of my taste in games, because I didn't really touch the NES games that much. Meanwhile, the GBA games were all great and even got me into some series. Well, not all of them were great. The GBA F-Zero game is so-so. I don't think it's quite everybody's cup of tea. I think usually they'll prefer the SNES one or the GameCube ones. But I don't know if there's a lot of love for Maximum Velocity, but Sacred Stones was there, and now I'm a Fire Emblem fan, so thanks for that, Nintendo, you gave me this brain rot.
I feel like the F-Zero fandom just doesn't like acknowledging if any of their games are not well loved. I feel like because it's one of Nintendo's franchises they don't revisit very often, they just have to treasure every game they have anyways.
Yeah, so we saw Manhandla partway through this dungeon, but this is the actual boss. This is Gleeok. He has multiple heads. When you cut off one, it just sort of flies around the room and is a huge pain to deal with. But it's dead now, so that's level 4. Next time, levels 5 and 6. None of which will be co-opted symbols for hate.
So since that other head could just float around after you cut it off, was it like a real head or some sort of puppet?
I think Gleeok heads just kind of live for a while and it's kind of gross.